Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth Adams, and I'm a marine forecaster at the National Hurricane Center. This is a weekly tropical Atlantic marine weather briefing. Here's the latest on Hurricane Melissa. Melissa is centered around 430 nautical miles southwest of Bermuda and is accelerating toward the northeast at 26 knots. Melissa is a Category 2 hurricane with sustained winds of 90 knots. Melissa is forecast to move quickly northeastward over the next couple of days and will pass to the northwest of Bermuda today and tonight. Little change in the strength of Melissa is expected through tonight, and a weakening trend is forecast Friday through this weekend. A hurricane warning is in effect for Bermuda, and preparations should be rushed to completion before tropical storm force winds reach the island later today. Hurricane warnings also remain in effect along the track of Melissa as the storm moves through the western Atlantic. Peak seas are currently around 44 feet near the center of Melissa, and a wide expanse of rough seas are occurring through the Bahamas and offshore Florida surrounding the storm. Swells will continue to affect portions of Hispaniola, Cuba, the Bahamas, and the Turks and Caicos Islands during the next couple of days. Swells will also spread towards Bermuda today. These swells are likely to cause life-threatening surf and rip current conditions. Here's a look at the current conditions over the tropical Atlantic. Away from Hurricane Melissa, the first substantial cold front of the season is moving southeastward from the Gulf of America into the western Atlantic and northwestern Caribbean. Widespread fresh to locally strong northwest winds and rough seas are occurring in the wake of the front, and locally very rough seas of 12 to 13 feet have been noted in the Bay of Campeche today. Elsewhere, high pressure over the central Atlantic is supporting moderate to fresh trade winds and moderate seas over the deep tropics. For Friday, the center Melissa will continue accelerating northeastward and is forecast to be well off the coast of the mid-Atlantic states. Residual rough to very rough seas will prevail off the coast of the southeastern U.S. through the central Atlantic. Elsewhere, the aforementioned cold front will transition to a stationary front, and fresh to locally strong west to northwest winds and rough seas are expected in the wake of the front, generally north of the Bahamas. Lastly, a tropical wave approaching the Lesser Antilles will support increasing winds and building seas near the wave axis. On Saturday, fresh to locally strong northeast winds and rough seas will occur in the eastern Atlantic behind a cold front moving through the region. Elsewhere, high pressure will build in the central Atlantic, supporting moderate to fresh trade winds and moderate seas in the open Atlantic. The tropical wave is forecast to move westward through the Caribbean on Saturday, and fresh winds and moderate seas are expected near this wave. Late Saturday night, a cold front is slated to move into the northwestern Gulf of America. On Sunday, fresh to locally strong north to northeast winds and building seas will occur over much of the Gulf of America as a cold front sweeps through the basin. In the Caribbean, the tropical wave will continue to progress westward. Elsewhere, a developing surface trough near into the northeast of the Bahamas will lead to moderate to fresh winds and locally rough seas as the trough moves northward early next week. For Monday, moderate to fresh north to northeast winds are expected over the Gulf of America, through the western Atlantic, and into the northwestern Caribbean as the cold front moves southeastward. Fresh winds and moderate seas will prevail near the tropical wave axis as it moves westward over the central Caribbean. Moderate to fresh trade winds are expected elsewhere over the tropical Atlantic. Finally, for Tuesday, moderate to occasionally fresh north to northeast winds will prevail from the northwestern Caribbean through the western Atlantic and the Gulf of America as high pressure builds over the eastern United States. Moderate to fresh trade winds will dominate most of the open waters. In summary, swells generated by Melissa will continue to expand toward Bermuda today, and widespread rough seas will prevail over much of the western Atlantic through tonight. Life-threatening surf and rip current conditions are expected. Thank you for tuning in to the weekly Tropical Atlantic Marine Weather Briefing. The next briefing will be posted by 5 p.m. on Sunday, November 2nd.